Hi, my name is Lynn Spady, and I'm excited to tell you about some of the ways that I've been incorporating the professional learning that we've been engaging in at Westside this year. I am the teacher leader for the Excellence in Youth program at Westside, and I spend most of my time working with small groups of students as well as whole classes on a variety of enrichment topics. I also teach 6th grade pre-algebra. I have to admit that when I first heard Anita Archer and my colleagues talking about explicit instruction, I thought it really didn't apply to me and the students that I work with. I thought to myself, where's the personalization in making students repeat things like robots? But the more professional learning opportunities I participated in, the more I could actually see how explicit instruction could definitely help the students I work with. In fact, I found that some of our most gifted students have a really hard time focusing on what's important, and their perfectionism often interferes with knowing where to start. By providing explicit instruction, it helps students narrow in on the topic. Now, do they need 90 minutes of reading the highlighted words in unison with the class? No. They might not even need 40 minutes of it. But it has been my experience that 5 minutes of explicit instruction with even our brightest kids helps tremendously in their ability to focus on the necessary content. This is just one example of how I use explicit instruction in my pre-algebra class. The students read the highlighted words. This also happens to be what they write down in their math notebook. Here's another example of some text with mathematical vocabulary. We read this out loud as a class several times with the kids focusing mainly on the words highlighted in yellow. It then turned into a script, a writing frame if you will, that they had to create and explain everything. This helped them focus on the correct vocabulary while also being able to explain to someone else a very important concept within math. Here's an example of one of the students' projects.
See, this is a numerical expression. It contains numbers and operations like 2, 3, and 5, and multiplication, division, and addition. Oh, you think it's equation? Well, you're wrong. It's not an equation because it does not have an equal sign. Numerical expressions can only be simplified. Only be simplified.
Anyone that teaches math knows the importance of teaching students how to communicate mathematically. This is really hard to do when you have students who say, well, I just did it in my head. I can't explain how I got the answer. These two statements apply to most of the 6th graders in my pre-algebra class. They've always been able to do things in their head. One way to help them get those thoughts out of their heads is to have them create explain everythings for a story problem in the textbook. Here's an example.
Problem. At a sale, shirts were marked down $4. You bought 3 shirts. A sales tax of $2 was added to your bill, bringing the total cost to $50. Find the price of the shirts before the sale. So first you have to subtract the tax, which is $2, to find the cost before the tax was added on. So if you do $50 minus $2 equals $48. And then you have to divide the $48 by 3 to find the cost of one shirt. And 48 divided by 3 is 16.
I'm far from having explicit instruction or writing frames mastered. I have to admit that when I attend some of the professional learning sessions, I think it only applies to reading and writing. I have to get myself out of that mindset and realize that reading and writing are a part of all content areas, and I have to continue to push myself to think of ways to use it all in math. The results so far have been awesome. My students are speaking mathematically, and their explanations of problems are becoming more sophisticated as their math vocabulary grows. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to learning from all of you and the ways in which you're using explicit instruction and writing frames.